Hey everybody, welcome to the Overly Subjective Podcast. My name is Jesse and I will be your host and your guide through this adventure. Please bear with us. We don't have an intro yet, but as you listen over time, the production of this podcast will increase. So please be patient while we work out the growing pains. I'm joined by Hewitt and my brother Landon. So I figured we'd just take the first episode and maybe just talk about like our favorite games, our least favorite games, and maybe try to justify those decisions if we possibly can. I know some favorite games can be pretty subjective, right? So I don't know. I don't. I was kind of thinking before the show what my favorite game is. I can't really think.
Yeah, I can probably start off. So, I mean, it's definitely my favorite game of all time. Definitely not a great game, but it's one that I go back to constantly, and it definitely has to be something that it's a game that we've all played quite a bit. Maple Story. I currently still play it right now, and definitely will continue playing it for a while. If I do end up quitting, at some point, it's going to drag me back in.
Yeah, it's kind of like an addiction at this point, don't you think?
It really is.
You think you're gonna stop, but it keeps pulling you back in. But
Yeah.
to be fair, Maple Story it is a game that has that special charm to it that really no other game has. Like it doesn't really. There's games that have a little bit of the same size stuff as Maple Story, but it doesn't quite bring it all together in one package. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely one of the reasons why, and I don't know if it's just me. I think one of the reasons why it's still so popular is because it has no competitors really out there. How many 2D side-scrolling MMORPGs are there out there? I mean, at some point there was, but there aren't anymore.
I remember at one time there seemed to be like three or four different type of games trying to mimic it, and I forget what they were. They were obviously very forgettable, but you tell they really tried to copy the formula because they saw how successful it was. But you're right. Right now there are no competitors. Like I don't even think anyone's even trying to do a 2D side scrolling MMO.
Yeah. And I think that, back then, all of them were kind of on the equal playing field. The game just kind of came out recently. Technology was about like that. But I think that, with technology being where it is, games having, you know, been around for so many years, MMOs being around so many years, it's a if somebody makes something that's even half decent around, that competes with MapleStory, I think it's going to get a run for its money.
What would, in your opinion, as a veteran of the game, half decent? What do you mean? Like, what parts of the games would need to be half decent? Like, are we talking the skills or the graphics or like the environments, the maps? Because the
Like,
skills are super cool. They're like very flashy, and the numbers that pop up on the screen when you hit enemies. You get a lot of feedback with MapleStory, I think.
yeah, definitely. I think that one of the main things that draws people into the game is its charm and its aesthetics. It's really, pleasing to kill mobs in that game. And what I mean by half decent is like, I think one of the biggest flaws for MapleStory is the bugs, the pasta code that it has, the spaghetti code that it has, crashes, all these different problems. And if somebody just came together and cleaned that up and made a game that was, pretty much exactly like it, I think that that game would be fairly successful now. Like, if they make some other changes as well, it would be fairly successful. Like, probably taking some of the play to win stuff out, or like, the RNG aspects.
Yeah, I wonder what's keeping people from making a game like it because is it successful? I really don't know. Like I know like it has a pretty huge player base.
Yeah, in 2015, it was top 10 highest grossing PC game.
That's wow, that's pretty good. That includes like
It
is
includes like League of Legends, Dota, all those games. I think League of Legends was ahead of it, but I mean, it was in top 10, which is pretty crazy.
that's pretty good for a game that everyone loves to shit on. Huh, interesting. Well, you played it. Did you play it since beta?
I played it pretty much right when it first started, and I
Yeah,
pulled up the top 10 list, and Maple Story was number 7, and it was ahead of Counter Strike Go and Dota
for the sales.
for just like revenue,
Yeah,
just
okay.
gross income, whether it's including sales, microtransactions, everything.
Well, I didn't think it was. I didn't think it made that much money, but I guess it must. I wonder if it's Nexon's like big cash cow. Can't
It
really.
definitely is, because looking on this list, you have number 1 as League of Legends, number 2 as Crossfire, which I guess is it an Nexon property anymore? I forget. I don't
I
think so. It says
I think it was
Smilegate
at
right
one
here.
point.
Yeah, I think it's not Nexon anymore. Same with DFO, Dungeon Fighter Online. It was Nexon, now it's not. Um, so it's number 1 League of Legends, number 2 Crossfire, number 3 Dungeon Fighter Online, number 4 WoW, number 5 World of Tanks, 6 is Lineage 1, 7 is Maple Story, 8 is Dota, 9 is Counter Strike Go, and 10 is Grand Theft Auto 5.
Wait, Lineage One?
Yeah, it's
That's like a
really old.
15-year-old game, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
These
pretty
are
old.
the stats for 2015, which it's granted it's 2017 right now, but it's fairly recent in
Yeah,
the
that's
grand
recent
scheme of
enough,
things.
anyways. Lineage One, did that like just hit certain countries or something? I don't understand that one.
Does that
Well,
specify between regions? Because here in Canada, I know like nobody in real life I know plays Maple Story or even talks about it on the internet. I
It's
feel
across all
like
regions.
I feel like if we went to somewhere where it's the most popular, it'd probably be easy to see why it's so popular.
Yeah, in Korea it's really really popular. Like they have conventions dedicated to Maple Story.
like Maple Story conventions or Nexon conventions?
Maple Story
Really?
conventions.
It's
Yeah.
like Minecon, man. We all know Nexon likes to reuse content. I don't think that's a secret or anything. They kind of repurpose skills, and when they release new jobs, I think they've done it. Maybe not like every single skill, but a skill
Oh,
every now
I
and
have a
then.
very good example. You remember back then with the Buccaneer class how you could use super transformation?
Yeah, the Super Saiyan thing.
Yeah, at some point they took that away, and now for their 5th job skill, guess what came
Oh,
back?
really? What?
Yeah.
Dude, that's
Interesting.
bullshit.
Well, Landon, you haven't played Maple Story in a long time, and you used to play it a lot. What could Maple Story do, in your opinion, to bring you back to the game and get you playing again?
I'm glad I got out when I did.
Don't say that. You loved it at the time. We all loved it.
I did, but I've grown. I've changed. I've my tastes have changed. I don't particularly like grinding anymore, I don't think. So that's one of the main reasons I haven't gotten back into it is the grind fest is not appealing to me anymore, and that's like 90% of that game.
Yeah, can't deny that. It definitely is a grind fest. Unless you play on the regular servers, then you can just buy everything. Because the reboot server in Maple Story is completely like non-pay to win, and it's still like that, right?
Yeah. There's still nothing you can buy that increases your range, like your damage or anything. It's all everything in the cash shop is this for aesthetics. I mean, arguably you do need a pet, but you can get it other ways in game without spending money.
Yeah, and the pet is basically just to like it can auto heal you or picks up items, and it can even like do auto skills. So you don't have to, if you're lazy, you don't want to cast them yourself. So I had pets to do that because casting skills on yourself is what the supports are for, man. Speaking of support, that's that got me thinking. That's like my favorite role to play in any kind of like team-based game, like League of Legends, Dota, or Overwatch. I really like playing the support. I don't know. It feels like it's like unwanted by most people. Like it seems like most people don't want to play support, but I feel like it's easy as for me as like someone who doesn't have the greatest skill in a skill-based game. I can make a bigger impact by playing support. I
I
don't
don't
know.
like playing support because just the way the internet is, nobody appreciates what you do. Even though I shouldn't care about if people care what I'm doing, but I feel like that's necessary for me to play support.
Well, in that case, I think that another game, Overwatch, does a pretty good job of making playing supports, rewarding. The fact that, with like play of the games, a lot of times supports like Mercy will get a play of the game, or like, their supports are more interesting in that game. I feel they have some sort of style that a lot of us supports, it's not just about sitting back and doing nothing, just like buffing and healing.
Yeah, the sports in Overwatch definitely have a way more fun minute to minute like gameplay style. A lot of flying around and moving fast and doing cool shit, even though all you're really doing is still supporting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They actually just added Lucio into Heroes of the Storm as a character you can play as well.
What's that game?
that's Blizzard's reaction to the whole MOBA thing. It's like their MOBA but filled with only Blizzard like characters, and it's from across all genres. So you have, like Diablo characters and Overwatch characters and StarCraft characters. Yeah, I don't think it's very good.
I I played it a long time ago and it didn't attract me very much.
No.
It makes sense that they're doing, like, think about it. Oh, I guess maybe you might not know, but like, for example, Hearthstone had a thing where you got a special card back for playing the game. Uh, Overwatch has a special skin that you get for Genji for playing the game. They try so hard to make people play that game to a point where actually a couple of my friends, they really wanted the Genji skin, but nobody wanted to do it. So they literally got people to do it for them. Like they're like, please just do this for me. I'll do anything for you.
It's weird that they try and like do this cross contamination with their games because they're all different genres too, and like the Overwatch players aren't necessarily gonna play Hearthstone, and that's kind of a reach to think that they're going to because they're very, very different games.
Well, I mean, I play both Overwatch and Hearthstone. I like them both. They are very different games and appeal to a very different audience. But I think especially like you have, especially for Blizzard, there's a lot of Blizzard fanboys that'll just play a game because it is a Blizzard game.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, me and Landon just we bought that freaking Blizzard 2016 Stein because why? I don't know, because it's Blizzard. It has a Blizzard logo on it. It's pretty sweet. I'll be honest.
Fucking cool. Okay.
But we had
You
to buy.
spend
Yeah, we had
way
to
too much
buy a virtual ticket to BlizzCon to be able to get the opportunity to actually buy the Stein. So we had to buy the virtual ticket, which I didn't end up using to watch BlizzCon anyways, and then we bought the Stein. This is what
I
we
ended
do.
up watching the live Weird Al thing that came along with that. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
actually pretty sweet.
Yeah, I did watch that. That was cool.
But we couldn't even just buy the Stein just by itself. We had to get the whole goodie bag that people who went to BlizzCon would have got for free. So we bought this whole package that was like $70 or something.
Yeah.
Sounds like a rip-off.
Hey, it had an inflatable Reinhardt hammer, okay?
Yeah, mine doesn't work anymore.
Oh, really? I haven't blown mine up. Everything else except the Stein is sitting in the box still.
Yeah, it was definitely not worth the price, but hey, fuck it.
This is what we do with our money, people. Oh, God.
It's better than me. I give myself a like $50 to $100 quota for MapleStory per month.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, I think you might be classified as one of the whales they talk about in these free-to-play games.
I don't think I'm even close.
I don't know, $100 a month? I think that's probably in the top 10% of MapleStory players.
I try and budget $100 a month just for like brand new games, not fucking microtransactions.
So you can buy one game a month, basically.
Yeah,
Exactly. I try to put aside $100 just for energy drinks. That's how I operate. I need. So okay, your favorite game is MapleStory. Landon, do you have your favorite game at the ready? Do you happen
You
to
know, I have many favorite games, I would say. I think most gamers have multiple favorite games.
I think that's true. Well, what's the game like Hewitt? What's the one that you just keep coming back to?
Fuck, I don't know. Probably fucking Terraria. Because every time they have a big new patch, I play like another 15 hours of that game.
Yeah, and they're always adding the free patches too. And then they're not small patches either. They add like a ton of content.
Yeah, I recently started playing Minecraft again, but I wouldn't say that's one of my favorite. It is There's something really satisfying about building something cool in that game, though.
Yeah, you're gonna sit back and say, "I made this." Look at it in all its glory and splendor. Yeah,
Yeah, but you guys are playing a Minecraft mod, right?
No, it's just vanilla right now.
Oh, okay.
I think there's like mods on the server. I think that's about it. They did just recently add like, since we have played, they added a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, vanilla Minecraft is quite a bit different now. I'm surprised. There's more to the end zone where the Endermen live and the Ender Dragon. Subtle. You fucking throw some kind of pearl into like a weird portal that shows up in the end zone, and it takes you to another end area with fucking end cactuses and end fortresses. They're not called those though.
Inception.
Inception, and there's like it's like the Nether now basically, and
Oh
there's
yeah,
fucking
I
llamas.
thought you were. I thought you were talking about the Nether. What's the end?
At the end it's like there's lots of fucking beige sand and obsidian.
Yeah, that's where the like dragon thing is, right?
It's like I guess it's Minecraft's version of the opposite of the Nether.
Shows how long ago I've been playing. Like the last time I played Minecraft was. I think the last time I played Minecraft like actually was probably in alpha.
Yeah, that would have been. Yeah, that's a long time ago, man. I wouldn't. I don't know. It's just, if you jump back in, it's pretty much the same. I'd say no reason to go back into it. I don't know. I used to play it a lot, but I think it's reached the end of its lifespan, and people should just let it go, man. It's just.
I mean,
Die.
the survival aspect of it. I mean, there's no end game really. You just grow shit, breed animals, and that's about it. I think that game's longevity lies in its creative mode. I think just building stuff is. I mean, no game does it really as well as Minecraft, which is weird.
Yeah. Like,
Well, there's a lot of other things too. Like most of the streamers that are on Twitch, they don't play vanilla Minecraft. They play some sort of mod.
there are a lot of mods too. It does completely change the gameplay. Like there's one where you basically have to like research science stuff, and you have to like launch off the planet onto a different planet, which is basically just another Minecraft world.
Oh yeah, Galactic Craft.
Yeah, there you go.
I played the shit out of that mod. There's a lot of great mods for that game. I don't think it's not a phenomenon for me anymore. I just hop on to build shit.
It's a good game to just kill time with.
Yeah.
So my favorite game, I think I've decided, and I would say my absolute favorite that I don't necessarily return to it every like on a regular basis, but I could jump into it at any given time and enjoy myself no matter what. And that game is Dark Souls. The whole Dark Souls series, actually.
Da-da-da-da. Oh, I thought you were going to say Zelda.
Oh no. Well, that's not fair though, because Zelda is it's just like god tier game. You have to just exclude it from everything else. But I mean, like ultimately, yeah, Zelda is my favorite franchise. But there's so many like tiers within the franchise, because like you can have your favorite Zelda game, which I mean is always gonna be better than every game that's ever been made. Maybe we can talk about that. But Dark Souls is my favorite game.
Well, that's okay though, because Dark Souls, the creators were heavily inspired by Zelda.
Maybe that's why I like Dark Souls so much. Maybe. I don't know, it's the atmosphere, and it's really not that difficult. People would just pay attention to the video game they're playing.
It's pretty difficult, man.
It's, I don't know, man, when you first play, it's difficult.
You say you're not a skilled player, but Dark Souls, the patience is hard to get over.
Well, Dark Souls
Patience
1,
and-
you could, like, pretty much cheese through the whole thing. So you don't really need skill. I say Dark Souls, and then I don't know, I've been playing a lot of Grim Dawn. That's been slowly creeping up my time played, like, pretty quickly. It's almost
Go on the Grim Dawn grind.
yeah, the Grim Dawn grind. It's pretty fun. It's easy to like hop on another character and just Grim Dawn grind.
Yeah, that game surprisingly it hooked me more than I thought an ARPG would these days.
Yeah, if there's any like Path of Exile players or Diablo players that are kind of looking for, I don't like, cause Diablo 3, I mean, really should be named something else. Let's be honest. but Grim Dawn is like more of a Diablo successor in feel than even Path of Exile is, and a lot of people think Path of Exile is like a really good Diablo successor. I think Grim Dawn is even better in IMO, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think Grim Dawn is the best ARPG to come out since Diablo 2, to be honest.
So there, we got our favorite games. We got Hugh with MapleStory, Landon with Terraria / MapleStory, and then I have Dark Souls.
You cannot sneak that in there.
And then let's see. So I don't know, what are the worst games? That one's, I think, easier because like 100 come to mind when I think worst games. Man.
But you have to pick their number one. Like, which one's the worst? Like, define like worst game, because a lot of times if it's a terrible game, you're not going to play through it.
Your worst experience.
Worst experience, man. Remember, this is subjective. Honestly, oh man, I'm making some shit for saying this, but the worst experience I've had is GTA 5 multiplayer. That's the worst experience I've had.
Really?
Yeah, just like the whole way they handle multiplayer and the peer-to-peer nature of connecting to different people, and like the floating. I mean, I haven't played it in a while, but at the time, the loading screens, man, you would load into the game, and then if you wanted to do an activity, you would fucking load, and then you'd load out of it, and then you need to do another one, and you'd fucking load into that, and then I think it was just a really poor way to handle the multiplayer. It would have been way better, because like that's my worst experience, because the potential is huge and they just squandered it for whatever reason. I don't know, but I mean, I love the single player, it's freaking awesome, but the multiplayer is just my worst experience. And it seems like Rockstar's abandoned every other project because they're making so much money off it. So good job, Hewitt. This is your fault for buying microtransactions.
Oh my gosh. But, aren't they making a new Red Dead? Yeah, they are making a new Red Dead.
That's true. I take that back. They haven't canceled every project. They've canceled every project except Red Dead Redemption 2, which, by the way, there was a De Novo leak, which is an anti-piracy technology they implement in these games. You have to like connect to a server and authenticate your serial key before it lets you online or lets you able to play. But someone like hacked their website and found a bunch of email transactions between different companies and De Novo, and they found that Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming to PC, man. It's coming to PC.
Really?
You heard it here first. Well, that's what the email said. That's
Is it going to be through PC crossplay? Because like I know that the Windows Store now has that thing where you can buy a game on the Windows Store and you can play it on both the Xbox and the PC.
Yeah, that's a good question. There's even some games have crossplay multiplayer, like Forza has crossplay multiplayer, and even Gears of War 4 has. And it's weird, in Gears of War 4, there's like a versus mode where you like play against each other, and you can play consoles versus PC in the versus mode, and that's seems like a pretty huge disadvantage for the console people because mouse and keyboard are better.
Way better.
Yeah, that's gonna tilt some people.
Do you think Red Dead 2 is going to be a staggered release on PC like they did for GTA 5?
I don't know. Well,
You know how GTA 5 came out on consoles, and then like 3 months later finally came to PC.
well, which time though? Because it came out on PS3 and then later on PS4. I don't even remember.
I think it was after the PS4 version.
Yeah, I think the PC was the latest version. Like it came out the latest out of all of them.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to say it probably won't be, but like the reality is it most likely will be a staggered release. That's just the trend with games that are primarily made for consoles.
Well, for Rockstar, they usually have a deal with the console manufacturer like Sony, and that's why they can't release on PC at the same time, because they give them like a few months exclusivity deal.
Yeah, it's like the thing with Tomb Raider, because I think like they release on the Xbox first, I think.
Right, I think Rise of the Tomb Raider, right?
Yeah, Rise.
Yeah, you're right. They're also, yeah. There's another game that just came out that they were doing that too. I forget what it was. Well, PS4 VR is kind of getting under my skin, like the whole Resident Evil 7, like the VR is exclusive to the PS4 for like a whole freaking year until it comes to PC, and I'm like, it's so
The Vive's just
disappointing.
sitting there.
Yeah, just sitting here and have to freaking play play Rec Room and freaking listen to Handybot troll me. It's frustrating because I'm worried that it's going the route of the consoles, like where this you're gonna have the PS4 VR games and the freaking Oculus VR games and the Vive VR games, and I just want it to all be like one thing.
I mean, originally that's what they want, and that's very much what Valve wants. They want it to be universal on everything.
Yeah,
It's only like, I think Oculus, while they're kind of like in the middle. I think it's PS4 is exclusively PS4, and I think they want to keep it that way. And then Oculus, while they say it's open, they technically gate it off from the Vive stuff, but you can use that third party program called Revive on the Vive to play Oculus games.
yeah.
And at one point they actually shut down Revive and they didn't let them do their thing. But after a bit, they let them do it again because I think they changed something in the code to where Revive didn't work anymore, and then people got really pissed off, and then they changed it back, saying it was like, oh, it was unintentional, and then they changed it back, and then now Revive works again.
I hope it all gets opened, and it might with Oculus might be forced to do it because it's this whole freaking lawsuit thing that's going on.
Oh yeah.
Did you hear the results of that?
Yeah, I believe what happened was they ended up getting sued for $500 million, I think it was.
Yeah, 500
And
million.
then and then they're making so they can't use that piece of code inside of the Oculus. And I don't know how exactly it works, but they might not even be able to sell Oculus like hardware until they fix that.
I think that's what they're trying to go for right now. They're trying to stop all sales of the Oculus, and I guess it makes sense that they could stop all sales until they fixed it. It doesn't really seem fair that they
Are
could
they
just...
gonna have to recall all the Oculuses
No,
that are out there now?
I
don't think so.
I don't think you can like legally do that. They're sold now. Can't take it back. No takesy backsies, man.
I mean, Oculus has just been through a bunch of shit, like with the Palmer Lucky thing and the Trump stuff, and then now with this. It's just, and like also before all that, the launch of the Oculus, and how they're, giving stores, they were giving stores Oculus Rifts and not giving it to people who had kickstarted it.
Yeah, that was I remember that happening, and I was so pumped to get an Oculus too. I was like, I fucking slept in on the pre-order day, so I missed my pre-order. So I was all like upset that I had to get my pre-order, and I feel kind of lucky that I didn't have to go through that shenanigans. Got my Vive, so I'm happy, and they're pretty comparable. Like the two are there. You pretty much get the same experience from the two. As long as you got your beefy PC, you should be okay. Yeah. If anyone,
Oh god.
I was just gonna say, if anyone like has the opportunity to try VR, definitely do it, because having someone describe it to you just is not the same as actually being in the damn thing.
Yeah, I had you trying to explain to me what it was like after you got yours, and I was so skeptical. Like, yeah, I'm sure it's interesting, but how good could it really be? But then you brought it over, and I tried it, and it's surprisingly immersive. Like, you actually feel like you're in a different fucking world.
One
It's
of the
kind of
things
incredible.
that's most surprising, I think, is like the scale. Like, you could watch a video of someone playing VR, like Vanishing Realms, for example. You could watch someone play that. It's like a Zelda like dungeon game, and it just looks like a video game on the screen. But you put the headset on, and it's like the walls scale up so high, and the canyons go so deep, and it's really crazy. You have like someone at your workplace has like a connection to the Oculus or to Lucky's Tale, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. So one of the so I work at a school. One of the teachers, her husband is the sound director for Lucky's Tale, and I had that connection through that. But the way that I actually was able to try out the Vive was one of the students there that in the class that I was teaching at the time. It was a 1 week course called Video Games is Art, where we talked about art in video games, learned about the different types like video, sound, story, like music, everything entailing art in video games, and we actually in the end made like a concept design for a game. But through that class, the student's sister worked for Unity, and we visited Unity for a field trip one day, and they had a Vive there at the time when I believe the Vive wasn't. It might have just came out at the time. It was last April.
That's sweet, man. I got to play. I got Lucky's Tale. It's weird. Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, I pre-ordered. So I didn't get the Oculus, but I got like a space. I got a pre-order to pre-order. If you know what I mean? I was in a queue to pre-order the Oculus, but because I did that, I got like a Lucky's Tale code that I was able to redeem on the Oculus store. I then canceled my pre-order, and then I used Revive to play Lucky's Tale, and yeah, it's a fun game. The sound's awesome. So give that guy a thumbs up. Yeah, the third party games or the third person games are I didn't think they would be as cool as they are, but they're really cool in VR. So what did you think of the Vive when you had it on? Did you play anything in particular?
Yeah, I played what is that game called? The one where you have the shield and one hand you can have a shield and you have a gun. Space Pirate Trainer, I think it was called.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I played that one. It was pretty cool. It was really early on, so most of it was very, very simple. Space Pirate Trainer was probably the one that stood out to me the most, and it was really cool. It was like I didn't expect to be so immersed, just like Landon said. I expected to kind of like, just like in the past when they said VR is here, because they said VR is here many, many times. Even back when like I think it was the Virtual Boy or something like that.
Yeah, Nintendo's
They,
Abomination.
yeah. So I didn't expect much of it, especially with leading up to it. But playing that thing, I'm like, wow, VR is actually here. And even before that, I actually, played around with the Gear, Samsung Gear, their VR, and that was already really good. Which is actually a pretty good alternative to anybody who can't afford a Vive or an Oculus or a PSVR, because it's really immersive still. But I really liked it. But yet again, it's a thing where you kind of see it and it's like the spectacle is just crazy amazing.
Yeah.
But after you play, use it for a while, it's like, well, it's just more VR experiences that I've seen before, even though it's like a different title. They're basically kind of like the same thing.
And that's one of the main reasons I was so disappointed with Resident Evil 7 is just because it was like the first AAA game to like fully support VR. And if you've played Resident Evil 7, it's pretty obvious. Like most of the games crafted around the VR experience too. So I like just really want to play that in VR. Although I might chicken out now that I've played the game through because it is pretty creepy.
Dude, I'm playing through it right now on my stream.
Yeah.
I'm progressing really slowly because I have no balls and I am scared shitless.
Well, like the further you go, it's like it just everything in your body tells you to just stop fucking playing this game, right? But you're like, I'll have to keep playing, especially if you're on stream.
Yeah, I don't know how far I'm at. I just killed the axe dude.
Oh yeah. Daddy.
Yeah, and it was so scary because I like a little bit of spoilers, not really, but like, I'm like, oh yeah, I finally beat him, walking up the stairs, and I'm like, oh my goodness, the grandma is totally gonna jump scare me. And it didn't happen, but I like was walking to the save room and turned left, and there she was, sitting on a rocking chair, just like, oh my god, please no.
Like Granny, man, she's creepy.
Man, I really, really enjoyed that game.
Yeah.
Like, surprising amount. Fucking, there's this one moment early game with Daddy. Like, they do a pretty decent job of subversing some of their tropes. Like, you expect the jump scare, so you're ready for it and you tense up, but then nothing happens, and you're like, oh, what the fuck? And then you turn around and then something does happen when you put your guard down. And it's
They
like,
kind of like
fuck you.
offset the jump scare.
Yeah, and there's this one moment when I was just running around the early house area, and I thought I was like done with that area, but I was walking down this long, scary hallway, and there's just two walls with nothing on them next to me. I'm walking, feeling completely safe, and fucking Daddy bursts through the fucking wall, destroying it, and chases me down. And that scared the living shit out of me.
Oh, I remember that part.
And the cool thing is that creates a permanent shortcut in that house now after he does that.
Yeah, and it's actually, I feel like, I'm pretty sure, but all of it is like random. Like, as in, Daddy's always roaming around the house, and it's not scripted. So sometimes, because for example, that part that you're talking about, I didn't experience it the first time I died. The first time I died, he just came through the door, and then the second time around, he didn't come through that door, and he came out the wall.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool canned like death scenes, and also
Well, for
just little
maybe,
things.
yeah. For example, we're gonna talk about a spoiler here because I think it demonstrates the idea. So this is really early game, so you really don't have to worry too much about it. But if you don't want to hear a spoiler, maybe just skip ahead a minute or so. Should we give a minute to spoiler to go, or should we just go right into it? Okay, so
Let's go.
here with the part where you beat Daddy in the garage, I'm assuming.
Yeah, well, no, I'm past that. I'm at the basement.
Well,
I
when you
just beat him
were
in the
when you were in the garage, what happened to you in there?
Oh, when I was in the garage, like after I killed him.
Like, how did that whole thing play out for you? Like, maybe I'll just tell you how it happened for me.
Well,
Yeah, sure, go
yeah,
ahead.
All right. So what I did was, I'm sure there's multiple ways to do it, because just like looking around the room, it seemed like there were other ways to do it. But what ended up happening is I just ran around the car a bunch of times, shot him in the head a bunch of times, and then he finally got into the car and he started driving it around,
Right.
and he just crashed it enough times to where the car blew up and he died.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the way I did it, I got in the car and I tried to start it, but he like caught up with me and he actually peeled back the roof of the car and it was like attacking me, and he freaking made me drive the car into like steel I-beams, and it ended up like actually incapacitating him instead of me. And then the end, like the whole car exploding thing, that did happen to you, so that must be like how he kind of like always dies, I guess, because the whole thing exploded. He was on fire and shit was all melted. Came back.
Jesse, you had a moment even earlier than that when you were walking through the same like hallway area that I was, and you got caught trying to open the trap door, and Daddy did something to you that I hadn't seen before.
Yeah, I don't know if I even want to mention it. It might not even.
It's
have
not
to
really a
do it.
spoiler. It's just like a death animation, but I didn't even know it was possible, and it was fucking amazing.
Yeah, I think he's supposed to kill you before. This was like before he even busted through that wall that he was talking about. But he was chasing me, and I was like, "Fuck! I gotta get to the trap door. It's the only way to escape." And he ended up catching me, and he took he had the shovel at the time, not the axe, and he like freaking cut off my leg with the end of the shovel, and then like took my leg and took that like that medicine shit that like heals you miraculously, and he like
I know.
he toyed with me, and he was like, come get the medicine and come get your leg and put your leg back on, and he was like fucking with me, man, and I did
And
it.
he lets you escape.
Yeah. It's weird.
I got that. I got that death thing too.
Oh,
part
did you?
two. Yeah, he came and grabbed me and cut off my leg, and freaking, can we just talk about how stupid that medicine is? The fact that he cuts off your leg, you just stick it right back on and pour some of that medicine on there, and it just magically comes back together, and you're able to walk again.
I don't know if the medicine has some of that freaking. Well, maybe I don't want to It might be a
It's-
story spoiler.
It's got to be some Resident Evil special
Yeah.
medicine, because that wouldn't work in real life. I mean, it's mending nerves and bone instantly. Like, what the fuck?
And also the fact that, you know, a lot of times in the game, like you'll get like smashed in the head or like, you know, something like that. But every time you press the medicine button, you just put it on your arm.
Yeah, same arm. You don't even apply to different areas. Just like always your left arm.
Oh, I washed my hand. I'm good to go now.
It's science, man. Don't dispute it. You don't know how science works. Are you scientists? Come on now.
Can't say
I-
that I am.
I do have a biology degree.
Oh, okay. Well, Hewitt's the most qualified here. Hewitt, can you heal your nerve endings and bone with liquid medicine?
Well, considering the fact that I got my biology degree 2 years ago and I haven't done really any biology stuff since, sure.
There you go. I think that
Heard it here first.
fully qualified. So let's see. Where were we? Oh yeah, my least favorite experience, Grand Theft Auto 5. Okay, anyone else have that least favorite experience?
It's stupid, but it's also Maple Story.
There you go. Yeah, it's like
It's a love-hate relationship. Like, you know, I love the game to death, and actually, you know, I wrote a review lately because I actually applied for a position at Giant Bomb, which I don't think I'm gonna get, but I wrote a review for my portfolio where I reviewed Maple Story, and you know, I'm like, you know, I have to say proudly, I love the game, but I have to admit, it sucks. It's a terrible game, and really, it's the bugs that really just get me. It's like I said this earlier, but there's just so many bugs in the game that a lot of times this is not enjoyable to play, um, to the point where I just, you know, even right now, like I pretty much only play the game because I stream it. I still like it, but I'd probably be rather be playing another game. Like I've been playing a lot of Diablo today, and I'd probably rather play that.
yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I think that falls more closely to Stockholm syndrome than a love-hate relationship. You've been taken hostage
Probably.
and you can't escape. You need to
Actually,
blink twice if you need help.
another popular streamer slash YouTuber on Maple Story recently made a YouTube video talking about how we're all just, you know, afflicted with Stockholm syndrome.
Maybe you're just like, you remember the heyday of Maple Story, so you're just waiting for it to come back. It's like you're waiting for the the second coming of Maple Story.
Well, I mean, I like the game, but it's just the bugs. And, you know, one of the things is Maple Story is kind of like a seasonal game. It After a while you run out of content to do and you just wait for the next patch.
And at least they're consistent with that, because they are like, some of the content might be the same as previous content, but they are always coming out with new content or new patches, or I mean, there's always an event going. I don't think there's never not an event going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and really I think that it's a testament to how the fact that the game is good. Like it's still really popular, at least in Korea, but it's, you know, such an old game. There's hardly any other games that has retained popularity like this for so many years. Another one that I can think of is probably like RuneScape, or like what we were talking about earlier, Lineage 1, but really there's not too many.
I do not understand how people can still like RuneScape.
Yeah, I don't really think to say to that. I agree.
I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure RuneScape players are probably looking at like me and be like, "How do you still like playing Maple Story?" But you know, it's something about those games that we really like. It's kind of like the Jeff syndrome. For those of you guys who don't know, Jeff is one of our friends, and he is notorious for playing old games. He has new games, but he won't play them because he's gonna cut.
Playing the same games over and over and over and over.
And we try to get him to play new games. We'll send him games, but he just won't play them. Maybe one day we'll get him to play a new game. Typically he goes back to like usually Fallout 4 or Dota. And
Skyrim.
he probably
Skyrim,
if he does listen to this, he won't make it to this part because it's at the end, and that would mean he would have to have had listened to the whole thing. But Hey, we love you anyways, Jeff. It's okay. It's okay,
Yep.
man. Skyrim. Oh man, you just triggered me. Skyrim should be dead too. I don't know how they're still convincing people to buy that game. I mean, it's fun enough, but the remaster and now it's coming out for the Switch supposedly.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess at its core, those games, the thing that keeps people come back is just it's fun to move around in the world, and there's good feedback when you kill stuff.
Yeah, well, you can move around in Yandere Simulator as well. Doesn't mean it's hitting the same notes.
But does it feel as good?
Oh, it feels good. Feels, the locker room scenes feel real good.
I would want to stream that game, but it's banned on Twitch.
Yeah, I don't know why. Have you seen his like videos addressing that?
No.
Yeah, the dev like actually posted some YouTube videos, and it seems really unfair because there's games that are way worse than his game, and they're fine on Twitch, like South Park, the Fractured Butthole. It's like you can like rape midgets, and like you enter Mr. Garrison's ass, and you have to like dodge sex toys in his ass, and that's not banned on Twitch.
Or like GTA, that one scene with Trevor at the end where you
Right,
rip
yeah.
the guy's teeth off and like pluck his nails off.
The
Like,
torture scene.
That's graphic.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that scene's not in the Australian version of GTA because they banned it.
Oh, really?
Either that or they didn't allow the game to go there. It was either one.
Wouldn't surprise me. They're pretty anal about the stuff there. For a country that was founded by criminals, I don't know why they're worried about freaking bedlam in the streets.
Protect their wildlife, their kangaroos.
That's the most dangerous thing about the place. Let the video game slide. So, Landon, do you have a least favorite game? You
Oh
can't.
my
You can't say
gosh.
Maple Story.
It's hard to think. Like I repress those memories.
Yeah, it's probably better that you forget about a bad game than try and like dwell on it or overanalyze it. Okay, well, let's see. Heward, are you a Zelda fan? For some reason, I don't remember.
I mean, I've played Zelda games, but actually, I like the series, but I have not been able to finish all that many Zeldas. I've played The Link to the Past, which I played the GBA clone of that, and I finished that one. I've played Oracle of Ages. No, it's not Oracle of Ages. Sorry. Actually, no, I did finish through Oracle of Ages later on, but I finished Oracle of Seasons on the GBA, the Game Boy Color when that was a thing, and then so there's Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons, the Link to the Past, the GBA version, and then the Minish Cap was the other one that I played that I finished, but I tried finishing Zelda. Twilight Princess, and I was never able to finish that. But I also played on the Wii, so maybe that might be why. I played through a little bit of the DS version of Majora's Mask, but I never finished that either. So I'm just kind of notorious for not finishing Zelda games, even though I already pre-ordered Breath of the Wild for the Switch, which I'm probably going to finish that, considering that's probably going to be the only game I'm going to play on the Switch until Mario Kart comes out.
Yeah, pre-order both of those. We can play Mario Kart together, man.
Yeah. But actually, I mean, that new Sonic game is looking promising too. I might play that one.
Yeah, Sonic
but I don't think
Mania.
that's a launch title, right?
No, I think it's launch window. I think it comes, I want to say April. That's probably totally wrong. I have no idea.
What's surprising to me is that it sounds like you've hardly touched the 3D Zelda games.
Yeah, the 3D Zelda games, I never really liked them. I like the 2D ones. The top-down ones have always been like really. I've played through Oracle of Seasons actually, Oracle of Seasons Ages multiple times, but all the 3D ones I've never gone through. And actually, I played through Minish Cap multiple times too. That's probably my favorite Zelda game out of all of the ones I played.
I think you might have done yourself a disservice by jumping into Twilight Princess as one of your first 3D ones.
Yeah, it
'Cause
is
that
the
one
worst
is-
Zelda.
It's the worst Zelda. I mean, it's still a good game, but out of all the Zeldas, it's the worst Zelda. I would say for like new people trying to jump into a 3D Zelda game, honestly, start with Wind Waker HD.
Yeah, it's nice and light. It teaches you all the Zelda stuff. I mean, I don't know. You get an interesting version of Zelda with Tetra. Oh, spoiler shit.
Is there a good
forget I said that.
is there a good 3D version of Zelda for the 3DS other than Oracle of I mean not Oracle of Ages, Ocarina of Time? Because that I mean it is a little bit old, so some of the mechanics might be a little bit dated.
Link Between Worlds, if you haven't tried that yet, is excellent. I really like that game.
Oh, but isn't that a top-down version?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
It's 3D though.
Yeah, I played that a little bit. I got through, I think, the first dungeon where the one where you first get your powers to meld into the wall, and then I think that's the first one that I beat.
Yeah, I really like that one. I think I like it better than Link Between. Wait, what was the first one?
The very first Zelda or the
Link to the
No.
Past.
Link to the Past. Yeah, that one. I like it better than that one.
You might get some hate for that.
I mean, of course, there's the nostalgia for that one, but the Link Between Worlds it's just the modern, better version of that game. I don't see why people could disagree.
So, Hugh, is there something that keeps like taking your attention away from the 3D ones?
Well, I think that the only 3D one that I played was like the only real console 3D one that I played was when what should I call it? It was Twilight Princess. And the 3DS ones, I don't know. The handheld games never get me anymore. I used to be a person that went out a lot on weekends and would always play handheld games. But then, nowadays, when I go out, I'm playing on my phone. And then when I'm at home, I'm like, well, why don't I just play on my computer rather play like Maple Story or, Overwatch or something. So it's just like, there's other games that I'd want to play before that.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Well, I think Breath of the Wild is gonna be the definitive version of Zelda, so I think you'll be okay if that's the only 3D one that you do beat.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's gonna be from what I've seen of it so far, just it's not a very traditional Zelda game either.
No, it really isn't. That's like one of the points they made when they talk about the creation of it. It's very non-traditional.
So at that point, if I play it and I really like it, can I say that I like Zelda, or do I just like Breath of the Wild?
I could say, I mean, you've beaten some of the best 2D ones, so if you like those, I'd say you definitely like Zelda. Oracle of Ages and Seasons are considered two of the best 2D Zelda.
Those weren't even made by Nintendo.
Is that true? I don't even know.
Yeah, they were developed by some other company.
Oh, really?
On behalf of Nintendo, yeah.
Minish Cap was the most recent one that I've beaten, and I really enjoyed that one.
You know, I've read like every interview that's come out for Breath of the Wild, and I feel like there's a lot they're not telling us. I think there's going to be some traditions of Zelda that are going to stick, that I think will count towards like it being an actual Zelda game and not just Skyrim with better visuals.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they have like their own Zelda spin on everything. Like, even though people are drawing like connections between the two games, you could say like it's just an open world RPG, and probably the most well-known one of those that is kind of like Zelda is Skyrim. So I don't think that it necessarily is going to be like Skyrim. It's just that it's something that people easily draw a connection between.
Yeah, I agree. I think once the game comes out, people are going to realize how that Zelda DNA is still in there.
I think it's gonna blow everyone away. We could do our own analysis of that. Jump on the bandwagon. I think that would take take a long time. Every day I can't escape watching Zelda. You know what? I haven't done it today.
I can't stop. I need this fucking game in my life. I can't. Every day I'm watching a YouTube video about it, trying to avoid spoilers at the same
I
time.
watch the trailer, or I watch the analysis videos, or I freaking check on my Switch pre-order. I just I can't do it, man. I can't get away. Well,
I actually have not looked at too much Zelda stuff.
that's probably
I
good.
watched the trailers, and then most of my like watching stuff is just I've been really, really deep into anime recently. At some point in my life, I stopped. I think that was when I started dating my ex about 2 years ago, and then I stopped watching that much anime. And then now that we've broken up recently, I've started binge watching anime again. I'm like rewatching a bunch of stuff. Like usually, normally I just watch the ongoing seasonal stuff, but now I'm like binge watching old stuff that I haven't watched in a while.
Like just catching up, or like old stuff like freaking Cowboy Bebop.
No, not like that. Just like stuff I've watched before. Like I finished the animes before. Some of them I've watched multiple times, but I'm rewatching them. Just like, one of the things I think that I really like about the games that I play, Maple Story, Diablo, is that at least right now that I'm playing, is that I can watch stuff on the side. So I spend a lot of time binge watching anime on the side while I'm playing Maple Story or playing Diablo, or more recently, even outside of that, Fire Emblem Heroes on my phone. I've been playing a bit of that as well, and I could watch stuff while playing that as well.
Dude, I've been playing. I've been playing freaking Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. It's kind of the same vein as Fire Emblem Heroes. Just kind of like a clicker stamina based freaking game. Why do we do these things to ourselves?
Well, wait, is it a clicker game that you're playing?
Well, it's not a clicker like cookie clicker, but you have a team of Dragon Ball Z like characters, and you battle them with the AI.
Oh, well, Fire Emblem Heroes is actually somewhat similar to the actual Fire Emblem games, where you're on a top-down map and you have to move your characters, and yeah, it's like a mini version of Fire Emblem, I'd say.
I should check it out.
Is there Fire Emblem confirmed for the Switch yet?
Yeah, Fire Emblem Warriors, I think it's called.
There's so many Fire Emblem games, and there's another one's called Yes, isn't it?
Yeah, there's just so it's Fire Emblem Heroes, the phone game. There's one coming out on the DS. There's Fire Emblem Warriors, which is like the Dynasty Warriors Fire Emblem, and then there's like there's like a legit Fire Emblem coming that they teased, but they haven't given a title yet, which I'll probably buy because I really liked Awakening. It was fun. It was actually the first Fire Emblem game I ever played. I played it start to finish. I liked it a lot.
I played the only Fire Emblem game I've played from start to finish is Sacred Stones on the G, and I tried Awakening. I mean, I got through a good bit of it, but I never finished it.
Is that just because you ran out of time, or did you not like it like the Spirit Stones one?
Sacred Stones, I don't know, something about it just drew me in. Like, I think it was definitely easier than this Fire Emblem, and I also tried to play this one on like a harder difficulty, which is maybe why. Something that I always liked about Fire Emblem is just that it was a feel good, fun type of game where it wasn't like too difficult. Maybe what happened was I just played it on too high of a difficulty, which made me like I ended up having to like restart the game so many times because like my characters died or whatever. I had to like, I got to turn it off, turn it back on again, and do that. And that was a little bit of hassle, and that's maybe where I fell off of it. But yeah, I mean, I like Fire Emblem games. I played the GameCube one too. I didn't finish that either, but that's because I played on Dolphin, and at some point I think I lost my save files.
Nintendo's gonna take you out, man. Doing that emulation.
Oh gosh.
I mean, I just assumed it was emulation. Maybe you purchased the physical media, right?
Yeah, no, I totally did, and then I ripped the the files off the disk, and then I put it onto my computer and played off the Dolphin because it's more convenient. It's like having it all on one platform, universal platform.
Perfect. It's like globalism, man, for video games. Well, tell you what, guys, I think we've reached the end here. It's been over an hour, believe it or not. Time just flies. So let's see. I don't have anywhere you guys should check me out, but I know Hewitt does. Where should they go to check you out, Hewitt?
Well, I rarely post on the Twitters, but you can catch me there. I believe it's at MisoXShiru. And I also stream on Twitch from 9, more like 10 nowadays. I've been kind of lazy. 10 to 12:30, so 10 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. PST on there, and I'm at twitch.tv/misoxshiru on there.
Fabulous. That's miso like the soup, right? Miso like the soup.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's super regular. He's on all the time. Super funny. Make sure you subscribe to him. Landon, you don't have anywhere to be on the internet.
I mean, I don't. Probably uninteresting to people, but I have a Twitch and a Twitter, both of Mass Creed. Sometimes I put art up, stuff that I've done. We also, me and Jesse, have this YouTube channel called Maple Over Bacon. We're going to be posting a new YouTube series soon.
Yeah, it kind of goes hand in hand with this one. This one's called Overly Subjective, and this video series is going to be Overly Objective, which is going to be game reviews that are just ridiculously objective. And it's just something fun and silly that we're doing, and it's going to be good. It's going to be good. So, yeah, you can check out for future podcasts on that channel as well. That's Maple Over Bacon on YouTube. So, yeah, hopefully you'll join us in the next episode here and just follow us with our journey of playing more games and becoming better gamers and better shit posters, I think.